welcome back for more tension problems with Tuesdays with Grace. I hope you have enjoyed this series because I certainly have learned a lot, and helping you discover and help you understand tension better. You've helped me in the long run. So let's cover, it's the second to the last one. We're going to discuss thread breaking and the different styles and types of thread breaking you may have and what to look at. So this can be one of the most frustrating things that we have to work with. I don't want to say that everything else isn't frustrating. A combination of things can really be frustrating, but having your thread break, you have that thread, you have it on your quilts, piece beautifully, you're sewing along, you're quilting along, and your thread breaks. You rethread it. You go through all the process and it keeps breaking time and time again. But it's that thread color that you want, and you want to use it so bad because it matches your beautiful quilt. Okay, let's discuss how we can get the threads to work for us, because I also have run into several of these issues that I have found the perfect thread for the perfect quilt, but the thread quality, not quite so much there, that I need to learn to work with it and help the machine along the way. Okay, not all threads are created equal. If you will understand that, not all threads are quilting threads. But there are some times that we can use threads that aren't actually made for quilting to quilt with if we understand how they work and what we need to do to help them work. All right, let's discuss the common causes of thread breaking. It could be poor thread quality, number one. Like I said, not all threads are created equal. I have some threads here. I'm not even going to tell you the names of them, okay, except for ours, okay? So ours right here is a 50 weight. It's a polyester. I love our thread, but we don't have all the colors in the world for you to use. And you know what? For some quilts, I may not want to use our threads. I may want a different look that's slightly different, and I may want to use, I'll say another name, a glide thread, okay? It's a little shinier, it's a solid color, and it just adds a different element to our quilt. And so, ours is a 3-ply. It's wrapped around has 3 layers that it's wrapped around, and it's a little stronger, especially for a beginning quilter, so you're going to have less thread breaking, okay? We changed our needle size from a 16 to an 18, but we're also now using an MR needle, which is a better needle to use, especially as a beginner. And our thread is a stronger thread, so it's not going to break as much. Now, that's not saying that it won't ever break. It will, okay? So just remember that variegated threads are different. They have different dyes on them, and so variegated threads have a tendency to break easier than solids because you're not adding other elements to it. So as you're pulling on it, here's the thread test. Ours is strong, and you have to pull it quite a bit to break it, okay? This right here, the glide thread, totally polyester as well. It takes a lot to break the thread. These are the thread tests, so I'm pulling it. So probably about the same as our finesse thread. This is 100% cotton thread that I'm going to show you here, and it's a little easier to break. It's going to break more and more, and it's also variegated, okay? So do the thread test. Now this is also variegated. You can tell, I love variegated. And it breaks very, very easily because it is 100% cotton. So it's going to have a tendency to break a little easier. Okay, 100% cottons, you'll want to use a size 16 needle and then work your way down from there. Another thing that could cause breaking of threads is your sewing technique. You may be moving the machine too fast for how it's sewing, and the needle may catch because you're moving it so fast and you're not giving it time to come back up and free itself. So as you're moving along, it's catching down underneath there, and that can cause breaking of the threads, okay? Oh, you could be putting too much tension on the thread by cranking down the tensioner, or it could be wrapped around one of these tensioners more than once. That can give an extra pull and cause breaking of threads. A bent needle, who would have thought a bent needle could cause it? But yes, you can get burrs in the needles. Sometimes you just get a bad needle and you need to change it. Or the end of it is becoming more and more blunt, or you've hit something, an extra seam. So the more seams you're going over, the more blunt the needle becomes, the more breaking of thread. And then make sure that your machine is threaded correctly. Again, I told you that it could be wrapped around one of these twice or 3 times. You don't even know. When the thread breaks, you don't know what happens to this excess. Sometimes I've seen it wrapped around this a couple of times and haven't even noticed it, and my thread keeps breaking. So watch it. Watch how you're threading it, and watch all these little tension guides, thread guides. They're there for a reason, and make sure you put your glasses on so you can see if it's wrapped around. Now, on the metal pieces, it's hard to tell because the reflection of the light, sometimes you can't tell, so you just get the light there close so that you can see what's happening. Okay, let's talk about a tension break. Tension breaks occur when both the top and the bottom thread tensions are so tight that it just snaps. Okay, how we can troubleshoot for this is test the strength of your thread that I've already showed you, slow down your movements, and make sure your machine is threaded correctly. And consider when you cleaned it last, okay? Did you clean out all the lint and debris in the bobbin case area? Especially clean out underneath your needle plate, okay? Threads can get caught down underneath here and caught underneath this. Once you unscrew this and clean it off, make sure you use your little lint brush. That will really make a huge difference, because you could have dangling threads down underneath there that can catch all the other threads, and that can cause thread breakage. Okay, now another thing that we're going to show you, not in this video, but in one to come, is how to adjust this spring. This spring right here can also cause thread breaking. If it's too tight and it's not springing down, it can cause the thread to break, and if it's not aligned correctly at the correct position for your thread weight, it can cause it to break as well. So Marie and I are going to show you how to take this apart, how to adjust it, and how to put it back on in the video to come. So watch for that one. And after you've checked all your bottom and your thread tension, and you've reset your tension to number 1, start increasing it little by little, and you will be able to find that right tension for your thread. And the last little part is if you have frayed threads, all right, it could be a different kind of issue. So let's make sure that we're looking at and checking what kind of a break it is. If it's a clean break, or if the end of the thread is frayed. While your tension break could look frayed, and the frayed edges may not be long enough a fray for it to be a tension break. The most common cause for long frayed breaks could be a burr on one of the guides, okay? So as you are threading, again, check it back and forth. If you feel it catch slightly, there's a little burr in one of these areas. Now, how to take care of that burr? I went and got what we call, I call this sanding thread, okay? It's thread that has little bits of sanding. It's just really rough. And I'm putting my little sanding floss, is what I want to call it. It's like I'm doing a little flossing job, and I'm turning it as I'm going back and forth, because I just really want to make that nice and smooth. Okay. And then I'm just going to do the bottom hole as well. This will really make a huge difference. Even just have a little bit of this. Go buy a roll okay? Because the more you quilt, the more, you don't think thread's gonna make, cause any damage on these posts. And these can be changed out and swapped out and you can purchase, but this will keep you going for a while. And the more the thread goes through it, I didn't think a thread could make any divots or in the metal, but on my little Bernina, I've had it over 35 years. And the thread that comes down, it has worn a little groove in the metal because I've used it so much. And bless that little Bernina's heart. I can't use it anymore because of that. But anyway, this little sanding floss will just keep everything going nice and smooth. And you can see it's a lot smoother now than when I first started. So just make sure you're flossing, go all the way through, sand them all, and it'll keep your machine lasting a lot longer, and it'll reduce the breaking or the fraying of the threads as it's catching on those burrs, because we've just now eliminated them. So it's worth you getting a little bit of this, and even in your home sewing machine, because we do a lot of piecing, we don't even think about that. So just sand them out and keep them going, keep them lasting, but then make sure you're wiping up all the little debris off of it to keep it going. Okay, so check for the burrs. Once they're discovered, now you know how to get rid of them. Or if it's a bad burr and it's really causing problems, you may have to replace any of these parts, and they are easily replaced. So just unscrew them and change them out, and you're good to go. All right, so let's talk about a clean break. Okay, so if you have a thread and it keeps giving you a clean break, it usually means that something very, very sharp is slicing it. If the needle is bent or oriented improperly, it can cause a clean break, and it slices the thread in half. Okay, so if it's misaligned and it's going down through, it can cause the thread to break really nice and cleanly. Also, if the timing is off, maybe your timing might be slightly off to where the needle is catching on the hook and it's slicing it in half really smoothly. And so make sure that we're checking the timing and looking at that, which is something that you can do, and it's easily adjusted. And keep in mind how fast you're moving the machine again, and make sure that it's nice and smooth, and then figure out which broke, the top thread or the bottom thread, and check both of the ends, and you'll be good to go. Thanks for joining me, everybody. I really appreciate you taking your time out of your busy schedules to learn more about tensions. I know I've learned a lot, and I hope you as well. Marie and I are going to tackle the tensioner and show you how to replace that, how to adjust the spring, so that you will even learn more about tension and how easily you can make those slight adjustments that you need to. So join me next time.